Hey everybody, welcome to Crossover Attack, episode 10. I'm Eric Freshley of Freshly Streamed Games. This is Hunter Davenport of Kame Club and Phantom Zone. I remembered it this time.
You did, and also free Yuji Naka.
Yeah,
free my boy. He didn't do nothing.
Mario's dad had a birthday. Sonic's dad went to jail. It's a very sad week.
Very sad.
Ups and downs of the video game industry. We got a lot to talk about here. We got news, and also we got to talk about some Pokemon. We got to talk about God of War. Both you and I have kind of been talking off the air. I know we both have a lot of thoughts about God of War. A lot. So we're going to dive deep into that. So, hey, if you like this and you're watching it on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like, do all those things. If you're watching on podcast services, rate us, all the other stuff.
Comment to tell us how much you hate us. If that's what it takes, do it.
Please. Tweet about it, because Twitter's on fire.
Yeah.
Let's start off, I guess, with a couple cleanup things from last episode. We had talked about that Parasite Eve thing. It's not Parasite Eve. It's an NFT collectible art experience, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, so it's bad.
Yep, real bad, real dumb.
Whatever it is, fuck that thing.
Square Enix is the last publisher, really diving deep on this shit. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. I really don't.
And also, we talked about the Disco Elysium thing, and we mentioned that details were kind of sketchy. Details are still pretty sketchy, but the publisher has made a statement. They said those employees were fired for misconduct, including sexual harassment.
So I read this, and I'm like, I don't know if I could see it. I could see, the directors of Disco Elysium being, sexist and misogynist. I could see that. But, also, that doesn't absolve them from their wrongdoing.
They could both, the publishers and the devs could both be telling a little bit of truth. They could both be full of shit. It's so hard to make any conclusions here on this.
Regardless, I think it kind of sucks for Estonia that Zaum is kind of being like this. They are like a cultural center.
Yes, absolutely. It's just a sad, however we got here, it's a bad outcome.
It's very sad.
Are you ready to dive into God of War?
Let's talk about God of War, because I feel like we have a lot of thoughts here.
We sure do. And we've been talking a little bit off the air, but all of our conversation, we've kind of stunted and said, let's save it for the podcast. But I know both of us kind of, I don't know, man. I've never been so conflicted on a game. Maybe not never, but not a long time.
I want to start this out by saying everything I'm going to say. I think God of War is a really good game at its core. It really does.
I absolutely agree.
But there's a lot to it that kind of annoys me.
You almost took the words out of my mouth. Yes, I want to be clear. I like this game overall. I'm probably going to sound like I don't, because I've got a list of things here that I want to say that don't sound so positive. But I've now streamed 3 streams that are 7 hours each. You can watch them if you want. I'm having fun when I'm playing it, but there's just some stuff about it that...
Yeah.
You go ahead first.
You had mentioned in the chat about how you feel like Sony has made the same exact game 7 times.
Yeah, that was gonna be one of the... Go ahead.
That is also the crux of my issue. I'm not tired of Sony games. I think they're still pretty good. I'd like them to try something different. Because I'm playing this, and it feels like I've already played this before.
Yep.
For the most part.
They made The Last of Us, and then they made The Last of Us with a samurai, and then they made The Last of Us with robot dinosaurs, and then they made The Last of Us as a biker, and now they made The Last of Us with Kratos twice. And I'm just okay, it's... it's formulaic for sure. It's like Outback Steakhouse. You can get a good meal there, but also I'm not going to get too excited about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with these cinematic style action games, but I wish they would try something new too as well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It feels very much like they're scared to try something new, almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. I love the game. The game's great, but like I'm playing it, and I'm like, this is the last 6 Sony games I played.
Yeah.
But Kratos is in it this time.
Yeah. It's like you're right that there's nothing inherently wrong with the formula, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I like my games to, like, this is gonna sound so dismissive, but I like my games to be more of games, honestly. This does feel like, just buckle in, we're taking you on a roller coaster, and you're going where we want you to go, and you don't get much say in how we get there or anything. You're just kind of, you're along for the ride. You're not playing the game. We're playing the game for you, and we're dragging you along. There's a lot of Simon Says. There's a lot of just, the NPCs are too goddamn quick to tell you the solutions to all the puzzles.
That's another thing too.
It drives me fucking crazy. It's like you sit at a puzzle for, I don't know, 15 seconds, just trying to. You're not even necessarily that you're stumped. You're just looking around to see, hey, where is this thing? And Mimir's yelling at you like, hey, dumb asshole, use the axe to freeze this water so we can get across the bridge. All right, chop, hurry up. I got another cutscene I want to show you, so let's get a move on here. You're being a real nuisance for wanting to play this game. I'm like, well, sorry, video game. I like to play. I don't want to fucking. It should be that, hey, at the bottom of the screen, if you take a couple seconds, should be at the bottom of the screen, says, hey, press this button if you want a hint or whatever. That drives me absolutely nuts. And it's just like, it feels, this game and actually some of the older Zeldas kind of could make you, maybe that's a bad example, but this game and Horizon was a similar way. It just feels like it's an illusion of making you feel clever when you're actually not. And that the NPCs telling you solutions is part of that. Having all the walls drawn on, hey, you need to climb up here, is telling you that. And I know that's like, you do need some kind of visual cues to tell you where you climb and not, but it just feels so handholdy the whole time.
Yeah.
Like its tricks just feel so naked and bare to me now. Like, okay, I can see what you're doing at every corner just to make me feel smart when I'm not doing shit.
I get it. Yeah. Like, a lot of casuals play these games. It's not like you and we probably play games more than the average person who's like, I just really like Sony games. And I think that's fine if you like them. I'm not going to like knock you. But like, I'm playing it and I'm like, okay. There was a point, there's one, it's funny you mentioned the puzzle thing. I was at a puzzle and I think it was in Alfheim. And I like walked up and then I did one thing and then Tier's like, let me finish that for you. And he finishes it for you. I'm like, was that intentional or is that one of these weird hint things?
Yeah. Oh, man. Where was I going? I forget. But yeah, it just feels like it's, to me, so much of it is playing itself. And another kind of thing that drives me crazy, and this is kind of tied into what I was talking about and kind of not, but a lot of this game, and it happens more with Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is the worst offender of this. Yeah. Just over animations where it just feels like you press a button and you lose control of your character for too long rather than just being like a quick attack. And even just things like when you're trying, and I get why they do this, and I don't know, it's weird because it's sometimes not a problem and sometimes just really annoying. When they're trying to show a big attack or an earthquake or something like that, and they just make you're trying to run forward and just make your character stagger around. And like, okay, I get why they do that and shit, but it just feels like you lose control too often in a lot of these games. I call it over animation. I don't know if that's the right term, but I just don't feel like I'm in control enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see how you feel that way. I don't necessarily... The thing is, I think the action in God of War is one of its strong suits. Like,
absolutely.
The when you're actually controlling the game, it feels great. Like, from minute one when I moved Kratos around, I was like, this feels really good to move around. The game's very tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're actually fighting, I love it.
Yeah, it's... I don't hate these cinematic... Like I said, I don't hate these cinematic games. But, like, I would like for them... If they're going to make them, I wish they would, like, put more variety into them.
Luckily, I think they're going to, because we know they're doing a bunch of live service games, and I don't think you can really do live service games like this. Although, let's see. I don't want to spoil things, but... All right, God of War should not be live service. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything crazy like that, but there are. Again, I'm trying not to spoil things. There's variety in this game, as far as fight styles, like combat styles that I didn't expect, and I guess I could say this. The game does at parts give you other companions other than Atreus who actually do feel like they change up your gameplay somewhat.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that kind of makes me feel, and I kind of wanted to end with this, but I'll say it now instead. Think about, hey, where they go next, because we know this is the end of the Norse thing, and I kind of feel like this is going to be the end of this formula in God of War. They'll probably keep some of it, but I think the next one will be not only a different setting, but also change things up gameplay. And I could see them, again, it's hard to say without spoiling things, but I could see them making a Kratos and Atreus 2-player co-op. Kind of like, because when you think about this, the game is actually probably about 70% like environmental puzzles, and then like 30% combat roughly, and that kind of feels almost like It Takes Two to me a little bit, because those were two characters that had different abilities, different parts of the game, and they were mostly solving environmental puzzles more than they were actually like fighting shit. And I think that could work if you design the whole game around it that way. Not to say you can't play it single player, of course, but that's a way to go. They probably won't do that, but that's just a way they could go.
I think that depends on how this game ends.
Sure. Yeah. Also, yes, I've not finished it. I'm probably about 15 hours in, roughly. It's longer than I expected.
It's very long.
I
heard 30 hours.
Oh god. Honestly, at this point, even though I do like the game, I kind of wish I was done. I want to see the ending, so I'm not gonna drop it, but I wish I was done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's also so much, and I don't even know if you've seen all this yet. So many skill trees and so many slots for loot. So many abilities. It's okay. You have the Leviathan Axe. The Leviathan Axe has a hilt on it. The Leviathan Axe has 2 runic attacks. You have the Blades of Chaos. They also have a hilt on it, and they have 2 runic slots. You have your Rage mode, where he's like, I'm too fucking mad for weapons, and he fucking freaks out. And that can be changed out for a different option there. You have this I forget what it's, some kind of belt or something where you put different enchantments on. I just recently got that. There's 10 different fucking slots on that thing to put enchantment on. There are your armor, 3 different armor slots, each has a different ability. You have Atreus, who has 2 abilities. He can swap in and out, and he's got his own skill tree. Kratos has a skill tree for the axe, a skill tree for the Blades of Chaos. God, what am I forgetting? Besides the runic attacks, there's another. God, I forget what it's called. A relic or something?
Yeah, you have your relics.
Yeah, there's just so goddamn much there.
They went a little hard.
They did, and it's a little bit too much, honestly.
For sure.
They could have pared that down a bit. In some ways, like that's part of the game that makes you feel like it's a game for super hardcore gamers, and then the other stuff we're talking about feels like it's catering to the casual stuff. So that's kind of a weird dichotomy there. But look, I don't just want to bitch. What do you like about the game? Besides, we talked about the combat. Richard Schiff as Odin is killing it for me.
I think the writing and all of that is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think the gods really feel like Tarantino characters in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah. Or like I've heard them compared a lot to a mafia family.
Yeah, I actually really like that.
Me too.
I like also the character development for Kratos is very good. I find
it does feel. It's funny actually. I was watching some clips of God of War 2018 today because I haven't played it since 2018. And boy, there really is a hard shift at the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
Some time has passed, 4 years, so I guess it makes some sense. But he just really went from super shitty ass dad to now like the greatest dad in the world. It feels like maybe there could have been a little bit more of a middle ground, but
he's calling people by their names now, which is huge for him.
There's a moment I hit last night that really shocked me. Okay, I'm sorry. Spoiler warning for just 2
You're
seconds.
way ahead of me, so
I know, but it's not. I gotta say it because you mentioned it. I gotta say it. I'm sorry. But at one point, fucking Atreus is kind of acting up and having a fit, and Kratos calls him boy again, and I was like, oh shit, it's crazy.
Yeah, I really enjoy that aspect.
Yeah.
Like I said, the combat controls feel good. Yeah, I enjoy a lot of this game. I think it's a very good game.
Absolutely.
I find my nitpicks kind of in the back of my head. Oh, Bella does not like God of War either.
I was gonna say, boy, that's look, if you like this style of game, the cinematic third-person action-adventure one, it is a fantastic one of those. If you're, kind of wearing thin in that formula, as I am, like, I still think it's worth playing. I'm glad I'm playing it. I'm enjoying it when I play it, but I just kind of like, I would more of a game in the game.
Yeah. It's a good game. I don't know. It's a good game.
Absolutely. I mentioned a second ago about where I see them going next. How about you? Because like they've said, this is the end of the Norse stuff. So, like, what setting do you want to see him go next? And do you have any kind of idea how they might shift up the gameplay?
This is just my personal theory. I think this is the end of the series being called God of War. Just based on the stuff that's being set up, I don't know how they're going to continue with Kratos moving forward.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Ancient Egypt, personally, if they do make another.
That's where I think they're going to go. Yeah. So they did, it was Greek before, right? So they still haven't done Roman stuff. They still haven't done Egypt stuff. Obviously, they're never going to do Christianity, right? I mean, that's just not going to happen.
There wasn't it was David Jaffe? Yeah. I think his idea was that Kratos becomes one of the 3 wise men.
Yeah, I think he did say that, but
which is hilarious. I think they should have done it.
Yeah. But they're not listening to David Jaffe anymore over there.
As no one should,
yes,
honestly.
I know. Man, I used to be such a fan of that guy, and it's just like, what the hell are you doing?
Now it's like, man.
I know. Yeah, so I agree. It'll probably be Egypt. What else? I guess I don't honestly know much about like Japanese mythology, but I'm sure there's stuff they could do.
There's stuff they could do.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting if they mishmash that with other stuff too. It's like they kind of join mythologies in some ways.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I do kind of see them go, hey, every 2 games we jump to a different pantheon, but I just don't know. And I get this is a little bit of my ignorance, but I don't know how many are.
I don't know what
to most people. I think Egypt is the next obvious one for sure.
I don't know if Cory Barlog is going to work on another God of War game next, though.
So
they could gearing up for a new thing.
Yeah. I don't think he directed this one even. I think he was.
He's a co-writer on it because I know they had Anthony Birch come in.
Yeah, and Alana Pierce.
Alana Pierce, yeah.
And I think he is directing their new IP, whatever that is. I think there's some rumors about. Well, I don't know. I've heard rumors of a sci-fi thing, but I can't remember if that was Naughty Dog or Sony Santa Monica.
Well, Naughty Dog wants to make one. They've talked about that forever.
Okay. Then I don't know what Corey Barlog's doing, but some new IP. And he worked on this, but he didn't direct this.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for God of War.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, I'm gonna actually, for the first time, I'm gonna kind of clip that out as a YouTube clips part.
Yeah.
Of our God of War review-ish. I don't know, whatever. Talk to me about Pokemon, because boy, I've been seeing some stuff.
I gotta address the elephant in the room before I say my other things, because I do have, like God of War, I have a lot of complex thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
This game is a technical mess. There's a lot of frame rate issues, and there's a lot of issues with shadow and pop-in. I have not seen any of the crazy bugs at all. I don't doubt they're in the game. I just have not personally seen them.
Yeah, when you say you haven't seen them, you mean like in your game, not like on Twitter and shit. Because I've
seen those on Twitter. I've seen all that stuff. What I mean is in my personal playthrough. All this being said, all technical bugs and all that to the side and what I've played. I honestly think if this came out in a better state, it would get 10s across the board.
Wow.
Yeah. I really love this game's core gameplay loop. I think it does a lot of good things with the Pokemon formula that I really enjoy. I'm genuinely considering this in my game of the year.
Jesus.
In my head, it's this is one of my favorite games of the year, I think.
I honestly have not been paying too close of attention to the lead up to this. What does it do differently?
So now it is a fully open world game.
Okay.
So in previous Pokemon games, you had the Victory Road thing where you're going straight to the gym leaders.
Yeah.
And you could. There was also other side stories with the Team Rocket and stuff like that. In this one, it's separated into 3 paths that you can do. It's sort of I don't want to call it Metroidvania-y, but it's more open world where it's okay, so my first thing I did, I went to go clear a gym. And then there's a side quest where you fight Titan Pokemon. And I did the first one of those missions immediately after.
Titan Pokemon? Is Kratos fucking cameo in this too?
No, I hope so. That'd be really cool. I really like it, man. Honestly, I think this is the shake-up Pokemon needed. It's very clear they did not have the time frame to make this a well-oiled machine, and I think they should really patch it. I really think they should work on this thing more.
Yeah.
But from the core gameplay perspective, I think this is exactly what I wanted for Pokemon.
You mentioned they didn't have the time. Hey, maybe that's because they also released Legends Arceus this year, which is crazy to think about. That because they're both Game Freak, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
They could have. Maybe and Legends Arceus, not nearly this bad, but also didn't have great performance out of the game. Maybe they could have made that the holiday game this year and made Scarlet and Violet the holiday game for next year. That would have been maybe. I
honestly think that would be the better call because I'm playing it and I'm this is a really fantastic game that people will miss because of this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still going to sell like fucking crazy.
It will. People are going to play this. And I honestly don't see Game Freak leaving the game the way it is. I think they're going to touch this thing up.
Yeah, I agree. They will. The last one, Sword and Shield, the last mainline one, I guess, they did a huge expansion for. So they're not just going to leave this one alone. They'll probably do another expansion, and they will. So they can't sell an expansion if it's still performing this bad.
They gotta get on that.
Yeah.
I haven't had the issues other people have had, but it is pretty bad out there. When I'm seeing Twitter videos of Psyduck instant transmissioning into picnics.
I just watched that right before we recorded.
It's so funny.
There's clips all over Twitter right now that are pretty hilarious. I've heard conflicting things about how expansive the co-op is in this game. I don't think you've done any of that.
I haven't, but I have no idea how expansive that is.
I've heard some people say you can play the whole game, and I've heard other people, and I've seen like websites say, "Oh, it's just these limited modes." I don't know. Maybe it's like a Monster Hunter World thing where you kind of have to separate at times, but then you can quickly come back together. I don't know.
I regardless if it's some limited thing, I think they're going to it'll be completely co-op by the next game. Because that seems like an obvious thing to do as an iteration.
I mean, hopefully they steal some ideas from Temtem.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else with Pokemon?
No, other than I love it.
Who's your starter?
Fuecoco.
Which one's that?
It's the fire type.
Oh, the little alligator kind of guy?
Yeah. He's great. His second evolution gets a little tiny candle sombrero.
Oh wow, that sounds cute. I meant to look up the final
adorable.
Evolutions of all the starters. I haven't done that yet. All right then. Let's get to the topic of the week. We got our holiday games for this year, pretty much. Marvel's Midnight Suns and the Callisto Protocol is still to come. Is there anything else still to come, or is that kind of it? Oh, I feel like there is one other. Oh, Darktide is in a couple days.
And Marvel Midnight Suns, literally less than 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. Same day as Callisto Protocol, and previews are out on that. And seems like
everyone loves it.
Everybody except Greg Miller loves it.
Well,
yeah.
I wonder why.
What are you gonna do? Hey, different strokes for different folks. That's fine. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. And Call of Duty and Pokemon are gonna light up the charts. But what are gonna be? Let's make some predictions for 1 year from now. What are gonna be the big holiday games for 2023? This is just goofy ass predictions, essentially, and not even goofy necessarily, but stuff we know. We just don't know when it's coming out. What do you think is gonna be? Because we know there's no Call of Duty next year. Oh, there is gonna be some kind of expansion.
There's gonna be a premium release.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it sounds like it's gonna be an expansion for Modern Warfare 2.
Sure.
But there's gonna be no full Call of Duty for the first time in a long time. So what are we gonna be getting?
I have a prediction that's not announced, but I feel like it's gonna happen.
Ooh.
I think that Nintendo's gonna release a Mario game next holiday.
I could see it. Well, actually, let's start with something else from Nintendo and segue that into Mario. What hardware are we playing Nintendo games on 1 year?
That's true as well. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be a Switch 2 or not.
I expect in 2023 they're gonna at least announce it.
Yeah.
Last time with the Switch 1, they came out in March or so. I could see them doing that in 2024. But it does seem like we did get a Nintendo financial report, and it does seem like Switch sales are finally starting to level out a little bit. Not that they're bad or anything, but they're not skyrocketing like they had been for the past 5 fucking years. That thing's been a juggernaut, and it feels like it's starting to level out, probably because the Series X and the PS5 seem to be getting more plentiful. And also, I do think, even though the Steam Deck is not like a mainstream device, I do feel there's a little bit seeping into people's mind of
I go back and forth on that, because I don't think the Steam Deck is a viable replacement for a Switch, though. Because the people who are going to buy a Switch only want to play Nintendo games on the Switch.
Yes. But I don't know. Now that I have both, even though I honestly don't even use the Steam Deck that often, I just now think to myself when I'm playing a Switch game, boy, I really wish I was playing this somewhere else. Even if the game's great, and hell, Pokemon's a perfect example. I wish I was playing this on the Series X or the Steam Deck or something that could run these a little bit. It seems like Bayonetta 3's doesn't run that great either.
The tech is seemed advancing past the Switch.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I think we've just hit a ceiling on it. And boy, if there's performance problems with Zelda, ooh man, that's gonna be a nasty scene. So anyway, but yes, if I could see a world where holiday next year they release an upgraded Switch and Mario as a launch title. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just bought an OLED, so I'll buy another Switch. I don't give a fuck.
I'm ready for it, man.
Me too.
Yeah, like I said, I also have an OLED. I bought 3 fucking Switches. I've got 2 left. I still got the Switch Lite because I thought I was going to take that to work, and I was taking it to work for a little while. Now I've kind of stopped.
My whole thing is I just love the Switch. I just want more Switches. Like,
yeah. Here's the other scary thing, though. It's Nintendo. Nintendo's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. There's a possibility they don't do. They just go back to like, oh, we're doing a home console again, and it's not handheld anymore. It's like, you motherfuckers, if you do that.
I don't know. Because they did hold on to those motion controls for a while.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think there's like a 1% chance of that happening. Yeah. But it's Nintendo, so you're always got to have that, like, fear of like, oh, are you going to fuck this up?
I could see them... I don't know, actually. Because the 3DS... was so popular that lasted like a decade, so I could see them just making more upgraded versions of the Switch until it's like, oh, we have this new technology that we're gonna put out.
That's what I hope happens. I absolutely just want to, like, I don't even need them necessarily to call a Switch Pro would be good enough for me. I don't even necessarily need a 2.
Oh yeah,
but like I just
same here. If it was like a Switch Plus, I'd be cool with that.
Absolutely. So anyway, Mario. I'm gonna say Hellblade from Xbox. I think holiday next year.
Pretty. Yeah, that's a good call.
And they seem to have like Xbox has got a great like first 6 months of 2023. It seems. But
they do. They have a crazy first 3 months.
But we don't know the back half of their year yet.
No.
You know, I don't think. I definitely don't think like Perfect Dark or Fable are gonna be there.
No.
Avowed maybe, but probably not. Like I think Hellblade is the most likely candidate right now to be there. Along with like Age of Empires 4, they've announced. We could see some smaller stuff like that Project Belfry game, which hasn't even been officially announced, but we've heard a million things about it.
What about the Wu-Tang RPG?
I hope so, but I feel like that's early. I would love to see that. That sounds fucking nuts. Like.
I really want to play that.
Absolutely. I really want to play. I'm still trying to figure out a way. I mean, I could, I guess, on the Steam Deck, but I'm trying to figure out a legal co-op way to play 50 Cent Blood on the Sand without buying it for $60 on eBay. I like those weird ass music when they're like a musician decides to, I'm gonna get into a game that doesn't seem to be like it's not a music game. It's just fucking. I don't know. I like that.
Eminem is fighting terrorists. Yes. That's what I remember that game.
And maybe Wu-Tang will be that. I don't know. Well, Wu-Tang will probably be like
Wu-Tang is for the children.
Yes.
So.
And for Sony, I think Spider-Man 2 almost
Spider-Man 2.
Sure.
I could see that happening. Yeah. That is a holiday game.
Insomniac are busy boys.
They are. Hopefully, we'll see more of that Wolverine game soon, because I really want that.
Me too, but that's definitely not coming out in 23.
No, not next year. Probably the year after, I would imagine, if I had to put a...
I think maybe 25 on that. Oh, I don't know if it's the same team that did Spider-Man, or if it's the
because they have like team. 6 teams working at Insomniac now.
Insomniac's crazy, Obsidian's crazy, just fucking... all these studios are... Not all these studios, but a few studios are just able... Like, those are the 2 workhorse studios right now, Insomniac and Obsidian. Just pumping out games, and high-quality ones, too.
Yeah.
Obsidian released Pentiment and Grounded. I mean, Grounded's been in early access forever, but anyway, that's one for each console. Mario, Hellblade, Spider-Man. Any big third-party ones? Probably one of those Assassin's Creed. Well, no, I guess they're releasing a game, like, in the spring, so they might not be ready for another one.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot that's been announced that I can see being a holiday game, really.
Yeah. You know what? I will say one, actually, that... All right, so our next episode, if we can keep to the schedule, is going to be like a couple days before the Game Awards, and we're going to do Game Awards predictions there. And I think Mortal Kombat 12, that'll be... We'll talk about that as a Game Awards prediction next week, but I also could see that being a holiday game. They usually don't release in the holiday, but their usual release schedule's been thrown off already. Like, they usually release every 2 years, and that didn't happen. So they're already throwing off schedule. Why not put it in the holiday? It's a huge, huge seller.
I could see that I don't necessarily think this is going to happen, but that Wonder Woman game, that could be a holiday game. That could definitely be a holiday game, I think.
I forgot about that game. Yeah, so I guess that's enough. That's not a bad list. Mario, Hellblade, Spider-Man, Mortal Kombat, Wonder Woman. Did we mention any others? That's a pretty good.
I don't think so.
It's a pretty strong fall. Next year's looking nuts. This year was.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
People talk about this year as if it was a disaster, and I don't think it was. But it was lighter.
What?
I know. Well.
We had Elden Ring come out the same year as like all these other bangers, and everyone's like, "Oh, it was a bad year for games." What?
I know. I don't understand half of what gamers say, but I definitely think next year, no matter what you think of this year, next year is going to be much stronger. I think
it's going to be nuts. Yeah. I think.
Let's move on to news, and we got a boatload of it, starting with Yuji Naka.
Oh, free my boy.
Why don't you, because you've kind of dug into the details on this more than I have, so why don't you take the
So, the long and short of it is, I only have the basic details, so I didn't go fully into, like, why this happened, but, like, so, I guess the Japanese kind of, like, Justice Department was investigating Square Enix for insider trading, and Yuji Naka was a prime suspect. And they caught him, I guess.
Yeah. And he's not at Square Enix anymore.
He's not.
So this was around a Dragon Quest game. Is it Dragon Quest 12 or is it a spin-off? There's a lot of Dragon Quest stuff announced. I think it's
12. No, it's the most recent one they just announced.
Dragon Quest Tact, a mobile game, according to the story.
Yes. Yeah. And, there was some insider trading going on, and Yuji Naka was caught.
He bought 10,000 shares of around $20,000.
Oh my god!
Before they announced this game, and then they announced it, and stock went up. There were two other guys too, along with Yuji Naka, but who cares? Let's talk about Yuji Naka.
Yeah, they didn't co-create Sonic. Well, and they didn't make Balan Wonderland either, or Wonderworld, whatever it's called.
Wonderworld, yeah.
Man. What a weird story.
It is. I remember the two other guys were arrested the day before, and like I didn't pay much attention to it. And then they got Yuji Naka. I was like, whoa, what?
They probably snitched on him immediately.
Is this is insider trading? I guess is treated more seriously in Japan more? Because like I kind of assume this shit happens all the time.
Well, the justice system in Japan is more fucked than ours because if you are arrested for a crime, you have like a 99% more chance of going to jail.
Oh, great. Don't put Yuji Naka in jail.
Yeah.
He won't survive in jail.
That's like you hear all those stories about the Yakuza actors who get taken out of the game because they were caught with like cocaine or like drugs.
Yeah, well, that's why Judgment seems like it might be a dead franchise now.
Yeah. It's insane. It's very not a judicial country where there's just a lot of guilty verdicts.
Yeah. Wait, Judgment wasn't drugs. I don't mean to paint that
No,
on that guy.
Judgment was the talent agency.
Yeah, right. I didn't mean to accuse that guy of...
he was just trying to relax.
Sorry. Yeah, if Yuji Naka goes to jail, he'll be somebody's bitch immediately.
Jeez. I wasn't going to go that far, but maybe.
Sorry. Free Yuji Naka. Hashtag free Yuji Naka.
I can't believe they arrested him for creating Sonic.
Yes. Well, I mean, shit, that's the real crime, really, when you think about it.
That's like, you know how, like, they get, like, criminals for minor crimes when they can't get them on the, like, major crimes? That's what's happening here.
You know what? I've changed my mind. Get his ass. Get his ass.
Get him. Put him in jail.
This menace needs to be brought to justice, finally. Alright. EA and Marvel have announced a 3-game deal. We already knew that Iron Man, not Visceral. The guys are making Dead Space remake. Motive, yes.
EA Motive, yeah.
That they're doing an Iron Man game, and they announced, hey, this is actually part of a 3-game deal. Game number 2 has not been officially announced, but Jeff Grubb has reported that it's Black Panther.
Yeah.
And no word on game number 3. Hopefully it's Rise of the Imperfects. Number 2.
No. I'd like it to be a team game, honestly. It'd be cool if it was like Fantastic Four or the X-Men.
X-Men would be great. I'm a big Daredevil mark. I would love that.
I would love a Daredevil game, but not from them.
Not from who?
Because from EA.
EA's been turning a corner recently.
If it was Respawn, I would feel differently. Yeah.
By the way, the Black Panther thing is a new team at EA who is led by the former Monolith guys who did, not all of them, but some of the Monolith guys who do, Middle-earth, Shadow of War.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome, probably.
Probably. In all likelihood, though, what game number 3 is probably Iron Man 2.
Captain America. Maybe.
I think it's going to be a sequel to Odd. So, I mean, assuming the first Iron Man's a success, I assume that they'll just do a sequel.
It does feel like the reason why they don't have it locked down is because they're waiting to see which one does better.
Absolutely. And this is, of course, in addition to Amy Hennig doing a Captain America Black Panther team-up game. Of course, there's Midnight Suns, like Spider-Man 2, Wolverine. Marvel games aplenty.
Yeah, we're entering a Marvel game renaissance. I kind of love it.
Yeah, they should probably just cancel them all and do Marvel Snap 2, though, most likely.
I love Marvel Snap. I don't know if we need Marvel Snap 2.
No, we don't. But just more Marvel Snap.
Yeah, just keep updating it. I'll keep playing.
Game of the year, Marvel Snap.
It's so good.
We're going to be talking about Game of the Year. Actually, you know what? Let's just do the Game Awards now. I don't know why I put that so low on the list.
Let's talk about it.
That should have been up top.
Because I feel like there's some valid criticisms, and it also feels like people are acting like Jeff Keighley shot their dog.
Yeah, no. See, oh, God. I can't look at the Game Awards list on portrait mode. I have to rotate my iPad. This is uncomfortable. I'm going to bring up Game of the Year list. So...
Yes.
Well, okay, here they are. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So this is Elden Ring and 5 losers, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean to call them losers, but there's no way Elden Ring does not win.
Yeah.
I don't even think God of War has a shot.
They got the Jeff Keighley connection.
Sure.
I could see it. I mean, It Takes Two won last year. Anything's possible, I guess.
And I know some people really hate that game. I love It Takes Two. I think it deserves it.
That game's so much fun. I really love that game.
That's one of my favorite experiences. I mean, of course, that's going to depend on how much you like the person you play with. But for me, that was one of my favorite experiences I've ever had.
It's also just a really well written and kind of. I wouldn't say wholesome. It can be wholesome.
There's that elephant scene was awful.
Yeah. There's a you fight a giant vacuum cleaner. That part.
That too.
It's great.
I legitimately got bummed out at that elephant scene. But
I did too.
Yeah, but Elden Ring wins this. But look, I don't know why Horizon's on this list, honestly. Wasn't everybody kind of universally disappointed by Horizon? It seemed that way to me. I didn't play it, but it looked like everybody was pretty bummed out by it.
It's just a game that came out and nobody talked about. Yeah. I don't understand why it's on here other than it's a Sony game, honestly.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but yes, the Sony... and I don't even know if it's a Sony thing, but I just think that genre, the genre we talked about earlier, the third-person action-adventure stuff, I think those are just...
They're popular.
Bait. Yeah, well, they're just awards bait, honestly. They feel deep, even if they're not. All right, a lot of people are just looking for playable movies, honestly. I'll just say
some people are.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I just feel like
no,
there's a weird divide between those people and the people who play a lot of games.
Yeah, you're right. It's not a bad thing. It just feels like, hey, why is Vampire Survivors not here? Why? I know you didn't like Tunic, but I kind of feel like Tunic should be here.
The thing about Vampire Survivors is I don't think that's very fair to put that on Game of the Year because it's that is such a niche thing, and this is such a this is a very commercial event. They kind of need these big games.
You're right. That Yes, and that is also why, like, look, I really, really like the Game Awards. I look forward to it. I think it's a fun show every single year. And I will do a live stream of it this year. But I don't think it should be taken ultra seriously, the awards part of it anyway.
No.
Like, it's just something to have fun with. So I say this shit like, hey, why isn't Vampire Survivors here? Why isn't Tunic here? I'm not really that upset about it. Like, I think they should be here, but I'm not really gonna.
I saw people on Twitter being like, this is why corporate America is the worst. I'm like, all right, you're making this, no, I think it's not. Yeah, it's the Game Awards we're talking about. It's not the fucking Oscars.
100%. And even the Oscars is, But,
yeah, that's same thing.
So honestly, on this list, I think Elden Ring's gonna win, but just for me personally, like, there's nothing here that I can really get behind. It's like, I hope this wins. Like, honestly, these are just not my games. And that's not to disrespect him. Just not for me. I'm not even voting this year, I don't think.
I hope Sifu wins Best Fighting Game.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I don't understand what happened.
I am baffled by that.
Was there just not another fighting game that came out this year?
But there was. Hang on, where is fighting game?
They could like. There's no DNF Duel. There's no all these games.
DNF Duel's on here. I just pulled up.
Oh, it is good. Yes. Okay, thank God.
But what it does get to me, they've got JoJo's on here, which is like a re-release or a remaster and shit. So they could have put Persona 4 Arena on here because they
could have,
but they didn't.
It's weird. I don't understand what happened.
It's DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu.
I think for me, it's DNF Duel and Multiverses because it's like
not King of Fighters, huh?
I didn't really care for the new King of Fighters.
Wow.
To be honest with you. Yeah.
Sifu is probably gonna win though. I think it's fucking
I
nuts.
know. I hope it does because I think it's so funny.
I'm pulling for Multiverses. I adore that game.
That game's great. I would love it if that won.
Yeah. Anything else on here? Where's indie? Best indie. So they got best indie and best indie debut, which is weird to me. But if I recall, here it is. Vampire Survivors is not even on best indie. Come the fuck on.
That one. I'm like, what are you doing?
Now, this is a good list of games, though, I will say. Cult of the Lamb, Neon Whites, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
Okay.
Now, Vampire Survivors is on Best Indie Debut. Where's that? There that is.
Good.
Neon White, Norco, which actually is another game that feels like it should have... I haven't played it, but from what I hear, it seems like it should have got nominated a lot more. That just got put up on console Game Pass like this week. It's been on PC Game Pass for a while. Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, Vampire Survivors. Let's see. Best direction. I'll skip that. Best performance? Care about that? Sure, let's do best performance. Ashley Burch from Horizon. Charlotte McBurney from A Plague Tale, Christopher Judge, God of War, Manon Gage from Immortality, and Sunny Shuljik from God of War. I think
that makes sense.
I think that's Atreus. This is the last one there. I guess that's it. Oh, Nibelian got nominated for Content Creator of the Year. That's cool.
Yeah, and he should win because he's the best.
He should win because I don't know these other 4 people.
Ludwig's great. If you want to, and his girlfriend Kitty Cinderella is also on here, which is very strange, but okay.
That is funny. I didn't know that.
She's good too. It's very weird they're in the same category.
that is funny. How do people get nominated for that? Why aren't we on there?
Yeah, we should be on there at some point.
Crossover attack with our 6 listeners. Let's do it.
Jeff Keighley, if you're listening, put us on there.
Shit, you don't get to guest on our show, Jeff Keighley. No,
that's right.
No, I'm just kidding. Please come on our show.
I thought that. I want to talk to you about Kojima.
Marvel Snaps and Best Mobile Game. Along with Diablo Immortal.
So Marvel Snap should win.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely, it should win. Honestly, if Marvel Snap was in Game of the Year, I wouldn't have been upset by it. That would have been...
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd be like, yep, that makes sense.
That would have been great. I bet you that Giant Bomb puts it in their top 5.
They should.
It could win there, honestly, because there's a lot of people that really like it. I probably won't, but I wouldn't be too shocked. Ongoing Apex Legends, Destiny, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Genshin Impact. That'll probably go to Fortnite. I would like to see a Destiny, but it ain't gonna happen. Maybe Genshin, or Final Fantasy. I don't know. All right, that's enough, I guess, for the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
All right. So those
are
happening.
The rest of these are just kind of, yeah.
If we can keep the schedule, we will talk our predictions next episode. Mostly about, not even necessarily awards, but mostly about announcements and different things. PS Plus, since they did their revamp with Essential, Extra, Ultimate, what the fuck is it? I don't know. The 3 tiers with their old games and stuff, they have actually lost. They're down 2 million subs.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Now, they are up in revenue. So it seems like there's two reasons for that. Number one, actually, and probably the biggest one that nobody's really talking about is currency exchange. The dollar's strong compared to other currencies, and that's where they made a bunch of money. They said, even though a lot of their sales were down, they still made money because of that. But also, the people who are sticking around, a lot of them are paying more. The average cost or average money per user probably went up because some of them did upgrade and others dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not very. I'm not gonna say it's not good, but it's just like compared to Game Pass, I'm not. There's nothing to be excited about there. Maybe not nothing, but not a lot. Am I right?
The thing about what is it called? PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
I think they have a really good foundation. They just don't have the games that make you excited about PlayStation Plus, because all of their first party games should be launching on there. I don't understand why they're so scared of putting it on there.
Yep. I know.
It's so stupid.
I've heard their excuses, and I don't buy them.
I don't buy them either, because Xbox does it, and they made $1 billion on Game Pass.
Absolutely.
You're leaving $1 billion on the table for what?
I don't know. Well, yeah. it just seems crazy. It honestly feels like right now the overall corporation of Sony, PlayStation's the only thing there that's kind of still doing well, and it feels like they're trying, PlayStation needs to prop up other divisions of that corporation. And so they're just trying to squeeze every penny they can out of PlayStation by raising the cost of the console across the world and going up to $70 games. And PlayStation VR. Let's segue into that.
Yeah, that is ridiculous that this is as high as it is.
Yeah, so, alright, so PlayStation VR 2 got announced. Well, I mean, it's been announced for, oh, damn it, I just deleted the link on myself, but whatever, it doesn't matter, we already know. They got a date now, they got a list of games now, and they got a price, $550. Now, I actually kind of feel a little bit bad for him on this, because compared to other VR headsets, it's actually reasonably priced. But
sure,
I mean, when you're higher than your console, it's just a bad look.
It's also proprietary hardware for your console that is $500. Like you said, It should not cost as much as the Vive. I'm sorry, it's not. It should.
Yeah, and it's just bad timing for them because the economy's rough right now.
It's not good. It's not good.
And I just I don't know who's gonna get this thing. Honestly, pre-orders already went up, and I know, so there was a weird thing to check if they were actually in stock or not, because you had to have an invite, and if you'd ordered one, then they were showing to you as out of stock, even though they actually weren't out of stock. It's just you couldn't buy more than one, so they showed that way to you. So it was tough to tell for a while, but it seems like they were in stock for a long time after pre-orders went up, and they might still be. I'd have to double check now. I don't even know. But I don't think this is gonna be a huge success for them. And not that they were ever expecting it to be a massive thing, but I think it's still gonna come in under their expectations. And their list of games is, there's the Horizon thing, and other than that,
there's nothing. There's nothing to pre-order on this thing. It's I don't get it. I don't understand.
Honestly, so Sony's London studio, the guy that made Blood and Truth and shit, their next game has been leaked out. It hadn't been officially announced, but it's a live service game that's not VR. And we know that Facebook recently bought up Twisted Pixel, Camouflage, and the Record guys. Oh, what's their name? Armature. So that's
Armature,
yeah, that's three. London studios not doing VR. Those three studios aren't doing VR for Sony. The Asobi, the Astrobot team, their last game was not VR. They could go back to VR. We don't know. They may or may not, but like they might be off VR. Who the hell's gonna be making games for this thing?
I don't know.
I don't know of any other Sony studios. I think Fire Sprite is doing a VR game, or are they doing Horizon? They might be doing the Horizon one. But like at Sony first party, especially, I don't know who's doing VR there.
It's a toss up because it's like there's like you said, there's only one VR game announced, and it's like okay,
right.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, and the
I'm not buying it.
Shit, I accidentally closed. It's not backwards compatible with the old games. I think a lot of those games will get updated. I think a couple of them have already been announced. Like you can't play Beat Saber on this thing. Then what the fuck's the point?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I do not. I can't recommend PSVR to anybody right now.
I can't.
Modern Warfare 2 needs no recommendations. That game
people are playing it.
It's the fastest selling Call of Duty ever. It surpassed $8 million in its opening weekend, beating out the previous record holder of Modern Warfare 3, which is a hilarious sentence. Modern Warfare 2 is now beat Modern Warfare 3, whatever. That was hilarious. That was in 2011, and it had more players online in its opening weekend than ever before. And actually, that now it has passed $1 billion in 10 days, which also beat Black Ops 2.
That is insane.
I know. This is, and it's the last couple CODs, Vanguard and Black Ops Cold War, I think were obviously still like huge sellers, #1 games of the year, but I think they were disappointing, and this is like a real return to form.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah. Critical reception's pretty good too.
I don't know anything about this game, but all I can see is those pictures of Ghost in his stupid outfit, and I'm like, yes, this is the content I love.
Yeah. And Warzone 2 just launched, and that seems to have been blown up too. So I don't know if people are liking that one as much, because I'm just not a Call of Duty guy. Maybe when the sale goes through and they all get put up on Game Pass, I'll try out some of them. I don't have anything against them. I just never.
I've
never did it.
I played the Modern Warfare games, played the Black Ops games, and I'm like, I've never been big into them.
Yeah.
I've played them, but like I've never been a big. I need to play every Call of Duty guy. I just play them when I play them, or if I have friends who want to play them, I'm like, all right, I'll pick that up.
Yeah.
See what it's about. But I don't. This is like not my thing.
No. But it seems to be a lot of other people's thing. There was also, I didn't even put it in the rundown anymore, but Phil Spencer talked about, hey, we're not taking off PlayStation, you fucking dumbasses again. So let's leave that forever, hopefully, but I know we won't. Embracer, got a pair of Embracer stories here. They closed the studio, one that they just fucking bought. They've
been renamed.
Yeah. They bought Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. And then Square Enix Montreal had to get renamed because obviously it didn't belong to Square Enix anymore, to Anoma. And if you don't know, this is a mobile studio who did Hitman Go, Lara Croft Go, and Deus Ex Go, which are great mobile
games. They're good games.
Good games. And they were mobile first, but I think they did port them over to Vita, and I think even PS4 at some point. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. They shut them down. Which is a damn bummer. Embracer is kind of... So there's a couple things here, but Embracer's kind of made clear before in other statements that, hey, we're not really interested in mobile games. We want to do console and PC stuff. And
I'm for that.
Yeah. But this studio, like, they could have done Just $10, $15 puzzle games and on console. Like I said, they ported Hitman Go to PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, I do think. Well, not I do think they've said they're going to try to move as many people as they can over to Eidos Montreal, but not everybody. Some people are just going to lose their jobs over this.
It's very sad.
Yeah, and it sucks because they were like it sucks when any studio closes down, but this is a really good one.
Yeah, it's consolidation shit. Not good. It's not. In some ways, like I've always said, like if I'm being forced to live in a society, I'm gonna enjoy the fruits of one. So like, yeah, I'll enjoy the games that come out of this. But like, it is sad that all these people are gonna lose their jobs.
Absolutely.
$billion sales that they don't see a penny from.
And it's the first kind of chink in the armor for Embracer, who we've just seen gobbling up everybody, and this is the first one that they're actually going the opposite direction.
Yeah. I will say, though, I do like Embracer's kind of attitude of, we're going to make games with the IPs we own, and I kind of really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they're getting too bloated, though. And actually, they've kind of... They also did their... It's earnings call season, all right? We got a Sony earnings call. We got Nintendo one. Embracer did theirs. And they kind of said, like, hey, we might need to close some more or divest some more. And it's like, I don't know. We've been in a weird situation where money was so cheap to borrow for a long time that, Embracer gobbled up everybody. And they weren't the only ones. A lot of people did. And now... the tides are turning real quick, and they're like, I don't know, we have to shift. And it's not necessarily that they were wrong before, but it's just like, hey, the situation has changed on us, and now we're gonna have to, I don't know, we're gonna have to quickly adapt, and it might not be all great.
Yeah.
So yeah, also part of that story was Eidos Montreal, the Guardians of the Galaxy Deus Ex studio. They were working on a game that was kind of, they were calling like a Kids on Bikes things. It was a Stranger Things inspired game. They canceled that. They are working on a new IP, it seems, that is, they actually had to scale down, so it seems like that might end up being a smaller game. They're also just starting pre-production on Deus Ex. And maybe most shockingly, they're co-developing Fable along with Playground Games, very similar to the manner which Crystal Dynamics is doing with Perfect Dark and the Initiative.
Sure.
Yeah. It's weird, though. I wonder if that was a deal that was made when they were still at Square. I feel
probably.
Like... yeah, well, we know the Crystal Dynamics one was, so I feel like this probably was as well. Here's my question to you. Crystal Dynamics working with Xbox on Perfect Dark. Yeah. Eidos Montreal working with Xbox on Fable. If Xbox had not been tied up with Activision Blizzard, would they have bought these studios instead of Embracer?
100% they would have.
I agree.
I really believe they would have.
And actually, I wouldn't be shocked if it, after the Activision deal closes, if it still kind of happens. If
I wouldn't be shocked either.
If
it'd be very weird, but I wouldn't be shocked.
It'd be very weird. But if Embracer is playing House Flipper, and they bought these studios for pretty cheap, relatively speaking. So if they charge Xbox, 3 or 4 times the price, shit, man. There's a conspiracy theory out there that Xbox and Embracer worked together on this, and this was always the whole plan of Embracer. I don't believe it either. But just Embracer's holding on to these studios temporarily, and Phil Spencer asked him to. I don't believe that. I don't even know if that would be legal.
Yeah, I was about to say that seems highly illegal. Yeah.
So I don't believe that, but it could just kind of end up working out that way.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, it does seem like they might still belong to Embracer, but just they're gonna help out Xbox. It's not that co-development and support studios are not uncommon. It's just studios the caliber of Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal is, you don't see that happen often.
Yeah.
But anyway, the last Embracer thing, they have folded Volition after the Saints Row has underperformed. They folded it into Gearbox.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if they're just now like if that just increases like if they're just part of Gearbox now, or if they are still Volition under Gearbox. Because the way Embracer has like 5 different groups.
Yeah, they have like subsidiaries.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Essentially, what I'm saying is Volition still gonna put out games, or are they just now like, hey, you guys are helping us with Borderlands and stuff?
They were sent. I think they were sent to the Borderlands mines.
Well, actually, another thing now is another part of this is Gearbox now has a new IP. Well, new for them, I should say. They've acquired the Risk of Rain IP off of Hobu. I think.
What?
Yeah.
Hopu? Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I don't know. It's weird. So they actually, I know they published Risk of Rain 2 with Hobu, but now they just bought the IP, and apparently, well, my first thought was, oh, okay, well, that essentially just means Hobu is going to keep making Risk of Rain, and Gearbox is going to publish it, and it won't be much of a difference. But then Hobu came out and said, no, we're off it. All future Risk of Rain stuff is going to be at Gearbox. It's weird, right?
That's bizarre. That's really bizarre.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if, like, I don't know. Like, it feels like they kind of want to do something different. I don't know. They want to do something that's maybe kind of has some similarities to Borderlands, but don't want to change Borderlands too much. That would piss off Borderlands fans. So they might...
I don't know, man.
It's a weird thing.
Maybe someone at maybe Randy Pitcher just really loves Risk of Rain 2.
I know for a fact he does, because when they published it, like, you know, they do Randy especially, he does those PAX panels every year or every other year or whatever, where he gets up on stage and he does magic tricks, but also talks about shit. And he had said, like, when they were publishing Risk of Rain 2, he talked about how much the studio loves it. He said it feels like Borderlands if Borderlands was made by a very small team. So we love this game and blah, 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 blah.
I don't see how that tracks, but okay.
There's loot. I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, it's very strange. He's a very weird dude.
Right.
I don't understand him very much.
Well, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, no. We'll be talking about Randy Pitcher for an hour if we get into it.
I might surprise... I don't know. He's douchey, but I don't think he's this 10 out of 10 evil guy that he gets talked about. Okay, so
I think, honestly, before we move on, I don't think Randy Pitcher's evil either. I think he just has a constant need to put his foot in his mouth.
Oh, absolutely. You're 100% right about that. Okay, but yeah, let's move on. Yeah, I'm with you though. So yeah, that's just a weird situation there. But let's move on to let's just do Kojima. Overdose.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
You talk about it.
All right. So, as the resident Kojima head on this podcast,
Kojimaniac.
The most hilarious bootleg leak of Overdose, Hideo Kojima's next game, happened. In that it's a video, it's someone recording footage from someone's phone, and you can see the guy in the reflection on the phone, and he's shirtless.
Yep.
It's very weird. But yeah, so...
Was he wearing a cowboy hat, or did I make that up?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's very... I don't know what's going on in that picture. But yeah, 2 minutes... I think it's like 2 minutes or so of Overdose leaked. And it looks like Kojima's making a survival horror game. Yeah. If I had to make a guess of what it is.
So Mama from Death Stranding was in this footage.
Yeah.
So it could be a Death Stranding spinoff, but it also could be that she's just in it as a placeholder.
Yeah.
That's probably most likely.
Because this feels like it's going to be its own thing. Especially if this is like a straight up horror game for Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because he's already announcing like casting for his next game, right, where he's got Elle Fanning and the girl from Deadpool 2 in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It looks all like whatever it is. I'm excited to play a horror game made by Kojima.
I didn't really watch this because I'm just not a fan. Well, except for Metal Gear 5, I love that game. But
yeah, that game's great.
Didn't it seem kind of like Until Dawn ish?
Kinda. I don't remember any like quick time events or anything, but it does seem like that kind of like camera style, I'd call it.
So I guess what I was getting at then, well, then if it's not that, so I guess what I'm asking ultimately is this the Xbox game or is this something else? Because we know the studio's doing more than one game.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
This could be the play because he's clearly doing a game of PlayStation.
Yes.
Because like he's constantly photograph. This is the weird thing about Kojima that I love. He is constantly taking pictures of the dev kit he's working on, even when there's not a deal announced. Like, oh, I got a PS5 dev kit. I'm writing a script.
He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he does not care. I kind of love it.
Either he doesn't care or he's doing it on purpose as some weird ARPGs. Like he's putting hints in the background.
Yeah, it's great. So I don't know. Could be Xbox, could be PlayStation. It could be on Stadia. I don't know.
Well, the Xbox game was supposed to be a Stadia game originally. But supposedly the Xbox game is some crazy cloud thing that we've never seen before. And from what I've heard about this footage, it doesn't seem that outlandish.
No, it doesn't.
So that kind of makes me think probably not. Although, also, hey, this is only 2 minutes. Like, there could be a whole other side to this game that we don't know shit about.
Yeah, this could just be like a section of the game.
Absolutely. So, yeah, ultimately, we don't know. The more we find out, the less we know.
Yeah.
Netflix is doing a Gears of War movie and following that up with a Gears of War animated series.
I'm tapped out. Nope.
Really?
Don't want this. I don't want this.
Well, okay, I don't really get excited about any video game movies. But I love Gears.
I'm gonna out myself here. I kind of hate Gears of War.
Hunter, how can you do this to me?
I really don't like Gears of War.
I fucking love Gears of War.
Though, I will say, the reasons why I don't like it is simply just because I think it's kind of a boring cover shooter. But, like, I think that those games are written in a way that are kind of, like, really, really good. Because on a surface, it seems like this weird macho kind of, like...
Yes.
Steroid-infused guy who's killing like locust monsters, and it's actually he's actually kind of sensitive, and it's really kind of sweet. It's a little bit.
It's Starship Troopers, is what it is. It is. It's absolutely a movie that a lot of people just take as a dumb action thing, and it gets that rap online, and it's like it's satire, guys. Like,
yeah, it's actually not that.
Yeah,
but I just don't care for the cover shooting in that game.
I adore Gears so much, and especially, like, I don't know. I know I say this kind of thing all the time, but especially just as a co-op game, it's second to none. But yeah, this I like I said, video game movies don't really excite me, but I would like to see. I would like to see it give a boost to the franchise because it does feel like the franchise has, just in terms of popularity, has taken a dip. Even though I think 4 and 5 are great. I think 5's probably the best Gears game. I don't know about that. But it's really goddamn good. And it feels like it just kind of got overlooked. But we've seen the Cyberpunk anime gave a big boost to Cyberpunk. The Witcher show gave a big boost to Cyberpunk. If this is done well, I would love to see that happen. I don't know if it will. Because, you know, like we just talked about, if you kind of... There's a way to do Gears very badly.
There is a... very
there's a shot that this ends up being a disaster.
Yeah.
The final thing on this, if it's not Batista, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no. If it's not Batista, why?
It should be an all wrestler cast, honestly. It should be Batista, Big E is Coltrane.
Let's get Randy Orton in there somewhere.
Cena could be Baird, although Cena might be too big to be Baird now. Like, he's got his own show. He might not want to be a supporting actor in another show at this point. And I don't know who for Dom. I have to go to because Dom should be Latino.
Yeah.
Maybe Andrade. Although.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So that we won't see that for quite a while. And actually, I bet the animated show will probably end up being better than the movie. But
probably.
it feels like Netflix has. Do they have Elder Scrolls, or am I making that up? Or
No.
They have.
So
Dragon.
Amazon Prime has Fallout. If that's
Fallout and Mass Effect.
Yes.
And I thought Elder Scrolls was with somebody, but maybe not. Or maybe that was an old thing developed that never came to be.
I would really love an Elder Scrolls thing, but it's never going to happen.
And there's a Dragon Age animated show coming to Netflix, I think, next month, I think.
It actually looks pretty good.
And a Sonic show, too.
Yeah, that looks cool, too.
I didn't watch that trailer yet. It's been on my...
It looks pretty cool. It's like if I had to compare it to something, it's like Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch that trailer.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
We'd mentioned the Nintendo financial things. We're not going to go deep into it. However, one thing I did want to say is they are partnering with DNA again. If you remember, they had a partnership with DNA to develop some mobile games before. This is different, though. They're opening a joint venture company, and they're not... Yeah, I know. DNA Co. Limited is now a partnership between DNA and Nintendo. And it's not for games, necessarily. What is the wording they said? Joint development and operation of membership services for various devices. So not just mobile. I think this is, hopefully, in preparation for the next Switch, DNA is going to take over their online shit. They're going to make Xbox Live for Nintendo, hopefully.
I don't see that happening. I think they're going to use this and sell insurance.
What?
Yeah, I think this is going to be some... Because Nintendo doesn't just make games, right? They have like the Love Hotels and stuff like that.
That's Nintendo?
Yeah.
I knew Konami did that shit.
Yeah, so that's a big thing in Japan. It's like a lot of these companies have like subdivisions where they make things that aren't video games.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Nintendo has like hotel chains and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Man, yeah, I was all excited.
They could do it though. I hear that and I'm like, Nintendo's gonna sell insurance or something in Japan with DNA.
Operation of membership services for various devices.
So they're gonna make Nintendo Home. They're gonna make their version of Alexa.
Oh man. You bummed me out. I was happy about this, and now I'm bummed.
I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm just like, it's the cynic in me who's like, oh, they're going to make fucking cylinders you can talk to.
Also, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is officially the best-selling Kirby game. So that's good.
Well deserved. I need to buy that and play it.
I did buy it. I played it for one night, and I really, really liked it. I'd like to do it some more. Boy, that was a big snub at the Game Awards too. I think it only got Family Game and like nothing else.
That should be Game of the Year. Yeah. I think that deserves to be in the Game of the Year.
Absolutely. Sony is reportedly partnering with NCSoft, who I believe makes Guild Wars, to do a Horizon MMO RPG.
Sure. Yeah. I like Guild Wars too. I'll play that.
Now, MMO can mean many different things.
It can.
To me, I would say make it a Monster Hunter, essentially. Like, it's robot dinosaurs.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what will end up happening. So lots of Horizon. They're really doubling in on Horizon between the VR game and.
I don't understand why, but
yeah, I know. That's the thing. Actually, I don't really care for Horizon. I would play it. I would play a Monster. I would play a Monster Hunter like in Horizon, but go ahead.
People love this game, and I'm like, it's good, but I don't see where the love comes from, because it feels to me like a semi-okay Pixar movie at its heart.
I'm with you. It did not get me either. FIFA, if you remember, they are splitting from EA. They are doing their stuff on their own now, I guess.
Oh, God.
And their first couple games have been announced to be blockchain games.
Why?
Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And honestly, you know what? It'll probably work. Like, this will probably be the blockchain game that actually does well, because...
I don't know, man.
It's FIFA. Like, people go nuts for that shit.
if Rainbow Six Siege quartz didn't only sold like $400, like what they made like $40 or whatever on that.
Yeah.
Like if that can't do it, I don't know.
The first game is AI League FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition.
That sounds horrible.
Which is 4-on-4 casual. By the way, I think these are all mobile. By the way, I should say
there are some terrible words in that sentence you just said.
4-on-4 casual football game played between AI controlled characters with player input at fun and tactical moments. You're not even playing this game. This is like when I do Fire Pro Wrestling. I don't even play it. I just fucking set the AIs to wrestle. Yeah. The second is FIFA World Cup Qatar in the Upland Metaverse. And third... You know what? I'm done. I'm not going to read them. I'm done with third. Don't care.
Everything, all those titles are the worst things I've ever heard
in my life. I also didn't put this in. There was there's a Wendy's and Godzilla collaboration in the metaverse right now of some shit.
I saw that and I was like, what?
I don't understand most of this.
Wendy's I get. Like, it's whatever, that's the company getting into NFTs. They're all going to do it. But, like, Godzilla is so weird to put in the metaverse. This is like a bad Second Life world.
Talk to me about Mick Gordon and Doom Eternal. What in the hell is going on here?
So, I'm gonna shorten this by a lot because it's 2 a.m. and I want to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want. No, it's fine. But I don't want this to turn into like a 2-hour thing of me talking about Mick Gordon because this really sucks for him. Basically, Mick Gordon got blamed for the Doom Eternal soundtrack mixing being poor, and Bethesda tried to pay him off, and they offered him quite a lot of money, like 6 figures.
Real quick, if people don't know, Mick Gordon is like a legendary video game composer. He did Doom Eternal, Killer Instinct, some amazing stuff.
Yeah. So basically, Bethesda tried to pay him off with the help of Doom. I think he's the director, Marty Stratton.
Yeah.
And they tried to pay him 6 figures to say keep his mouth shut and take the blame. And Mick Gordon came out and said that's all not true. It's all Bethesda and Marty Stratton's fault, and they tried to bribe me.
Yep.
It's the opposite Helena Taylor situation in which
he has receipts.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not. This was also, wasn't that pre-Microsoft?
Yeah.
Acquisition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, it's probably a different company now. I don't know, but
they apparently haven't fixed it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm hoping this gets Phil Spencer's attention and he can jump in on it. Now, Bethesda actually recently did issue their statement, such as saying, "Nah."
Yeah, but it's very clearly that they're lying.
Yeah, it doesn't seem great. Yeah, so that all really sucks. Especially because, there's a lot of reasons why. But I would hope that they can keep working with Mick Gordon, and I doubt that's going to happen now.
Yep.
Because, like we said, Mick Gordon is fantastic at what he does.
He is. He made the Killer Instinct soundtrack he gets carte blanche to do whatever he wants for the rest of his life for me.
That soundtrack was goddamn incredible.
It's godlike.
Thunder's theme song is ridiculous.
Yes. Awesome.
All right, so that's a bummer. Thunderful has acquired Jump Ship. Jump Ship just released their first game this week. And actually, Somerville, that game is.
Yes.
It's another game that seems really good, but is also kind of has some technical issues right now. Hopefully they straighten that out. But this announcement of them getting acquired happened the day before their release, I believe. Jump Ship, if you don't know, it is one guy who used to work at Playdead, who did Limbo and Inside. And Thunderful is the company that has SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld Heist. I love SteamWorld Heist. It's one of my favorite games. And they have another studio there too. I forget their name, but they did The Gunk. And so they're really becoming like a super indie publisher, I guess, trying to become like almost Devolver. I guess Devolver doesn't own many studios; they just kind of make deals.
No, they just throw money on things.
Yeah, Annapurna maybe is a better comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that seems great. I mean, it could go bad, but
if it lets them keep making games, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. I'm really wanting to see more on SteamWorld Headhunter, which is supposed to come this year, but they haven't said.
There's another SteamWorld game?
Yeah, they announced it last year. It's only a CG trailer, but it is their first ever 3D third-person shooter, and it's co-op focused, which, that sings to me.
I'll play a 3D SteamWorld game. That sounds
sings
cool.
to me. And it's called Headhunter, and in the you're a bounty hunter, and in the CG trailer they show you shooting a guy in the head and his head comes off. So my guess is you actually, because they're all robots, my guess is you actually collect the heads and you can pop them on yourself to give yourself different abilities, is what I think is going to happen.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But like only a CG trailer so far. That's supposed to come 2023. I wouldn't. Hey, maybe we'll see it at the Game Awards. But I wouldn't be shocked if that gets delayed again. A Sony patent has gotten revealed saying they were or are currently working on NFTs and blockchain technology. Now, the patent was from last year. A lot of people were working on them, like Ubisoft, like you mentioned before, and then kind of they saw it all blow up and stopped. We don't know if PlayStation currently is, if they have stopped, but we know at least at some point they were. My guess is they stopped, right?
Yep.
I think PlayStation Stars was probably going to be the collectible stuff. Was probably going to be NFTs, and
that is extremely obvious that was NFT stuff that they just ripped out.
So that's my guess of what happened here. But if we're wrong and they come out and say, "Hey, here's our NFT thing," that would really fucking suck.
Yep.
Scavengers was a survival shooter in early access, and it is shutting down. They're not going to hit 1.0. They're shutting it down. It seemed like nobody was playing it. Bummer. You hate to see this kind of stuff happen. I don't even know if it was good or not. I've not been following that. I barely even know what it is, honestly. Do you know if you heard anything about it? People like it?
Honestly, not really.
Okay. Maybe that's why it's shutting down.
This is the first thing I've ever heard of this game, to be honest with you.
Well, you'll never hear about it again.
Yeah, well, it is sad it didn't leave early access.
Yeah, like that. That didn't even get a chance. I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna say? It's just a bummer. PlayStation 5 seems like there's going to be a slim version in 2023.
Sure.
Makes total sense. Down at they have gotten a lot of their production woes sorted out. They're able to make a lot more, and they want to be able to fit more PlayStation 5s out on each pallet and in each truck and in each ship. Just ship more of them. And the damn thing's too damn big to do that right now. It's too damn big for my entertainment center, but that's less what they're worried about. They just want to be able to fit more in each shipment, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I think it also free up PS5s for people to pick up too.
Yeah. So that'll probably come this year or next year. Almost done here. Ubisoft and Riot Games have launched a joint research project. I forgot about this. To combat harmful content in chats. And boy, these are really the two groups that you want on this.
God, this is like cancer teaming up with COVID. It's bad.
It is. On paper, it's a good thing. We should try to make... Oh, honestly, who's using chat for people they don't know anymore? I just never hear people in open chat anymore.
I'm never in public lobbies. I am only in private lobbies or in parties.
Yeah.
I don't ever use public chat anymore. I don't.
I'm often in multiplayer games and I just flip my mic up. I don't talk and I don't hear anybody else talking either. I don't know. So that's a weird thing. Maybe it's different on heavy team games. Like, this is Riot, so maybe League of Legends is different. Maybe you have to talk to each other in that. But
League of Legends is awful.
Yeah,
it is terrible. Because you can party up, but you're playing on teams that are like, if you don't have the like max amount of people on your party, you're playing with random teams.
Sure.
And unfortunately, the League of Legends community is dog shit.
Yeah.
So
I hope they're able to, make progress on this, but I'm just not that hopeful.
I don't think they will. Yeah. I think there's gonna be a study in about a year that's like, yeah, people are shitty, and then that's the end of it.
They got that Project L game coming at some point too.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. This just happened earlier today. Team Ninja said they are working on reboots for Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they are the ones developing them. As a matter of fact, there's a rumor going out now that Platinum Games is doing Team Ninja. I don't know if I buy that, but...
I don't buy that either. What? Why?
What's that?
Dead or Alive I get, because fighting games are back.
I think Ninja Gaiden I get.
Ninja Gaiden I get too, but like at the same time, it's very strange to me that we're in 2022 and they're like, we're gonna make more Ninja Gaiden. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. I think it lines up. Not Dead or Alive. Devil May Cry 5 did pretty damn well.
Sure. But like I feel like Yaiba and all that left bad taste in everyone's mouth, and now it's like.
I feel like people don't even remember Yaiba, honestly.
I don't think they do either, but I do.
Until you just mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, that game. I forgot about that shit.
I remember Yaiba. I haven't forgotten.
And it does feel like, alright, so Ninja Gaiden doesn't play at all like Souls games. It's way faster than that, but the similarity is that Ninja Gaiden was very fucking hard. And the Souls games have made people now appreciate hard games. So don't get me wrong, It's not going to be a slow-paced Souls game at all, but I do think there's an opportunity to say, like, hey, we make hard games, fucking we can do this, and if you are like that, check this one out. I don't know. I think Ninja Gaiden's got a good opportunity.
Sure. Just don't make another Yaiba. That's all I care
about. And finally, Kevin Conroy sadly passed away.
Yeah.
I think everybody probably knows who he is, but if you don't, he was the voice of Batman in the animated series, and maybe more pertinent to this show, a lot of games. All the Arkham games, multiverses, and games even before Arkham. All the games that spun off from the animated series. It's been Batman in a ton of different things.
He is the voice in my head when I think of Batman.
Absolutely.
Like when I'm reading a Batman comic, he is the voice I imagine Batman having. He is Batman to me. Like, it's so sad. I watched a lot of the animated series when the news broke, so I was like, I just gotta watch a bunch of it. Yeah. And it was, man, R.I.P. Man. He was a huge part of my childhood, huge part of my life, really. And now he's dead.
And a lot of the reports, kind of from people who knew him, was that he was just a really nice guy too. Did a lot of things for charity, a lot of things for other people. Just a real sad one, I guess. Apparently, he was battling cancer, which I did not know. This came out of blue for me. I don't know if that was public knowledge or if this was like a Norm Macdonald situation.
I had heard a while ago that he was sick, but I hadn't heard anything like. It didn't seem like it was as bad as it was.
Yeah. Well, we don't normally like to end the show on a downer, but I guess we're going to this time.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah, but hey, play God of War, I guess. Yeah, there's something to be happy about. I don't know.
Yeah, God of War.
So where can we find you, Hunter?
So you can follow me on Twitter, but Twitter's going to die soon. So if you want to follow me on Tumblr, which I've migrated to essentially, that is at Mango SNTL.
Do I need to set up a Tumblr?
Dude, Tumblr's fun. I like Tumblr.
I don't know a damn thing about it.
It's just, if you like cool things, Tumblr's great.
I hate cool things. I hate them.
Well... You're going to hate Tumblr, man. Sorry.
Is there porn on Tumblr, or did they take it off?
The porn ban has been lifted.
Yes! Tumblr rules!
So that's why I migrated, because I was like, I gotta go where the porn is, guys. Yeah, you can follow me on there. You can go listen to Comment Club and the Phantom Zone, wherever you get your podcasts, and, just be cool to each other, I guess.
I'm Eric Freshley. I'm at Freshley Stream Games on YouTube, where you might be watching this right now. Also on Twitch. I've been streaming God of War. I was streaming Mario plus Rabbids for that. I would like to, when I finish God of War, hopefully get back to Mario plus Rabbids, but Midnight Sun's about to come, and I'm going to definitely do a full playthrough of that. So, I got a lot of streams coming. Hit follow on both those on Twitch and YouTube and all this stuff. And rate this podcast well. Tell your friends. Tell your friends the most important thing.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. I hate saying that shit, but it's important. It really is.
I'll say it for you.
Okay. Yeah, but it super is important. I guess that's it. Free Yuji Naka. Or don't. Lock up Yuji Naka. I don't know. I'm undecided.
Punish Yuji Naka.
I'm wavering.
Yeah. We haven't decided yet.
Yeah, either put him in solitary confinement or make him president of Japan. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye.